fuck.
Sick have I become. Old and weak. When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not. Earned it I have.
Master Yoda, you can't die.
Twilight is upon me, and soon night must fall.
But I need your help. I've come back to complete the training.
No more training do you require.
Then I am a Jedi.
Not yet. One thing remains. Vader. You must confront Vader.
Master Yoda, is Darth Vader my father?
Rest thy maid. Yes. Rest. Your father is. Unfortunate that you rushed to face him. That incomplete was your training. That not ready for the burden for you. But beware. Anger, fear, aggression. The dark side are they. Do not underestimate the powers of the Emperor, or suffer your father's fate. You will. The Force runs strong in your family. There is another guy.
I can't go on alone.
Yoda will always be with you.
Obi-Wan, why didn't you tell me?
Your father was seduced by the dark side of the Force. He ceased to be Anakin Skywalker and became Darth Vader. So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
A certain point of view?
When I first knew him, your father was already a great pilot. I took it upon myself to train him as a Jedi.
No, you did.
There is still good in him.
He's more machine now than man, twisted and evil.
I can't kill my own father.
Then the Emperor has already won.
Yoda spoke of another.
The other he spoke of is your twin sister. To protect you both from the Emperor, you were hidden from your father when you were born.
Leia. Leia is my sister.
Your insight serves you well.
You know when Yoda was rolling over, he was like, when Luke was asking about whether or not Vader was his father.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that meme where it says that after y'all finish having sex, and she started asking dumbass questions. Yoda was like, I ain't trying to answer this. But
I guess he was trying to get confirmation, even though he basically already knew himself.
yeah, but I like the scene. It had another one of the inexplicable Star Wars evaporation deaths that Obi-Wan got with the clothes disappear. Like all that was left was a blanket, but it was very sentimental, and I think it was a nice change of pace, and it really gave a lot of gravity to Luke being the last of the Jedi, and it even foreshadows a little bit, even though it doesn't get to the point to where Leia happens to take the mantle of being a Jedi, or even being born in that capacity in this movie. It kind of alludes to a future expansion, potentially, because the bloodline is still alive. It's not just him at this point. I think it was a kind of a weak way for him to die, though. Like, for somebody, like a character of his caliber.
I just feel it was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That it was not really a weak way for him to die, like in bed or anything like that, disappearing out of nowhere. but I just feel kind of out of nowhere. Like, okay, I'm gonna go finish the training, and next thing you know, Yoda's sick out of nowhere. He's gonna die within the next 10 minutes after Luke talks to him.
Yeah.
So
what I meant by weak was if somebody, it would have his death would have a lot more gravity if Vader killed him.
How do you feel about it?
No, I didn't have any issues at all. I actually don't have an issue with Yoda going the way he did. I mean, body failing him at old age it seems just to me, because if you look at just the entirety of his life, he has done a lot and been through a lot. So it makes sense. I think, the burden of coincidence is something that you can look at and say, well, how coincidental that he dies when Luke comes as one last time to get this bit of information, and he finally completes the circle and whatnot, as far as understanding his bloodline and what his potential trajectory will be when he faces the Emperor. So I think the burden of convenience and coincidence are two things that can take away from or be detractors from the scene, but I don't think it's necessarily a just assertion of that opinion. I don't have any issue with it.
No, I wouldn't say it's a coincidence. I just think it's out of nowhere. Like him being sick, not necessarily it's a coincidence. I just think it's
it's more convenient. Like, this is his last visit to Yoda before he goes to fit Darth Vader, so it's only convenient that we end Yoda's story here, and Yoda becomes a Force Ghost to where now Yoda can communicate with them the same way that Ben can or Obi-Wan can through the Force, regardless of space and time. So it's just like the burden of convenience.
I was gonna say something about Obi-Wan just now telling Luke that Leia is his twin sister, but not the Forces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think Obi-Wan only told him because Yoda told him. When he was like, there is another Skywalker, he was referring to Leia.
Yeah, but they could have told him last movie.
No, because they just now told him that, or they just verbally confirmed that Darth Vader's his father. Like, they didn't want to tell him even right then, because when he's like, he told you, didn't he? And when he was like, yes, Yoda was like, much unexpected this was. Like,
Unfortunate.
Like, I don't think they were, I think they were still gauging his emotional intelligence to what they can tell him. And I think that just when it comes to this point where, like, you figured out so much on your own in between episode 5 and 6, just with your Jedi training, that, shit, we can't really lie to you anymore, or we can't withhold information anymore. So I don't think it's.
How much was that they were still hesitant to tell him because he still could go to the dark side?
It may have something to do with it. They can call him a Jedi, but there is no Jedi Order, so technically he is just a Force user who is of good, kind of like how Ahsoka is after she leaves the Jedi Order. So with there being no, true Jedi Order, it's always a possibility.
Fight!
Round 6.
If they don't go for this, we're gonna have to get out of here pretty quick, Chewie.
Shuttle Tidarium requesting deactivation of the deflector shield.
Shuttle Tidarium, transmit the clearance code for shield passage.
Vader's on that ship.
Now, don't get jittery, Luke. There are a lot of command ships.
Do they have a code clearance?
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out. I was about to clear them. Shall I hold them?
No. Leave them to me. I will deal with them myself.
Shuttle Tidarium, deactivation of the shield will commence immediately. Follow your present course.
Okay. I told you it was gonna work.
Chewie and I'll take care of this. You stay quietly. There might be more of them out there.
He didn't up on the bridge.
Over there! Two more of them!
I see them. Wait, Leia! Hey, wait! Quick, jam their comm link. Center switch. Move closer. Keep on that one. I'll take these two.
You know, a lot of that could have been avoided if those speeders had side view and rear view mirrors. Did you see how often they were turning around? Like, there was no way they were not going to crash going that fast through that forest.
How'd you feel about the scene though? Did you like it?
I thought it was a comedic scene, but it was executed well. How'd you guys feel about how the actual scene, the chase, looked?
But before you, what do you mean comedic? How?
Like with them running in the trees and blowing up and that.
So violence is comedy.
Tom and Jerry, yeah, classic comedy.
But visually, first I'm gonna say I'm not a fan of the scene. I don't think it's bad story wise, but visually, what he's talking about, it looks like they were just racing in front of a green screen, and I'm not a big fan of that. I don't blame the visual effects for that. I blame more of the directing. How it's just like he just placed the camera and they're on a pod race or whatever you want to call this, and they're just in a speeder. Yeah, speeder, and they're in front of a green screen. So I didn't like it visually at all. I'm not a huge fan, but I don't think it hinders the story wise. But it does hinder the directing, I'm saying.
I have no issue with that. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, I'm not the movie aficionado or connoisseur of visual effects and a big person. I'm not big on that at all. The one thing that is still very interesting to me is that even, through the 3 movies with Han, that there's still just this doubt of the Force. Like when Luke is telling him that he's endangering the mission, that he shouldn't have came, and that he senses Vader, and that we still get the same New Hope Han Solo. And so it just seems like, there is no character progression as far as Han Solo goes when it comes to, the view of the Force, even though they say, granted, Han saves Luke's life in New Hope, and then of course in, A New Hope, in Empire Strikes Back, Han is like the prey or the catch. We'll say in fishing, what do you reel out? Han is the bait to try and catch Luke. So, there's always been this evidence of the Force, and I feel like Han has just had a hard time really grasping it, we'll say, despite everything that has happened in his favor when it necessarily shouldn't have. But as far as the speeder scene goes, I don't hate it. It's not the greatest Star Wars content in the universe, but it's not the worst either.
I do think this inspired George Lucas to go back to Phantom Menace and be like, I'm put a pod race again and make it even better. And he does. Yeah. The pod race in Phantom Menace is better than this. But as far as the Han thing, I don't really look at him as him doubting the Force. I just feel it's just him being Han. To be honest with you, not really him like come on, Luke's like come on, like.
Well, he's like, this is just your imagination. There's more of a line of an insult when we're talking about a Force user.
Yeah, I think I still took it as him not trying to make it hot.
Yeah. To downplay the situation.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, yeah, it's cool. We're not really.
I ain't trying to hear all that.
Yeah.
I
Like, we good. Don't worry about it. Like, that's how I took it. But I mean, it's possible. But I do think Han has progressed as a player as far as like his feelings for Leia and him.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely character progression with Han Solo, but as far as just his view of the Force and things of that nature, I don't think there's been any progression in that nature at all.
What statement makes you say that? I would agree, but I can't put my thumb on it.
That there's no progression?
No, the fact that he still doubts the Force at this point.
Oh, what I was saying. When Luke was telling him that he was sensing Vader and that he's in danger of mission and things of that nature. At the start of the scene.
Does he continue in the Disney trilogy? Like,
I mean, yeah, because they have a kid together. Leia and Han, and, you know, Ben is strong with the Force. So, yeah, he has an appreciation of it.
Fight!
Round 7.
Luke, what's wrong?
Leia, do you remember your mother? Your real mother?
Just images, really. Feelings.
Tell me.
She was very beautiful. Why are you asking me this?
I have no memory of my mother. Vader's here. Now, on this moon. He's come for me. He can feel when I'm near. That's why I have to go. As long as I stay, I'm endangering the group and our mission here. He's my father. There's more. It won't be easy for you to hear it, but you must. The Force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it. Yes. It's you, Leia.
Somehow, I've always known.
Even when she kissed him?
And you know why I have to face him.
No. Luke, run away.
There is good in him. I felt it. He won't turn me over to the Emperor. I can save him. I can turn him back to the good side.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. I just want to be alone for a little while.
Could you tell Luke? Is that who you could tell?
I...
I'm sorry.
Question: When Luke asked Leia about moms, like, was she talking about the Padme?
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
He didn't know. He doesn't know anything about her. So
Leia
he
said-
assumes that she was raised by their actual mother.
Oh, he assumes that. That's
Yes.
what. Oh, okay. I didn't know if she was talking about Padme or talking about like the mom she had on Alderaan or something.
Yeah, I don't think that Leia knows her. Well, she doesn't know how convoluted her origin really is.
Why you say that?
Well, because for one, neither one of them knew that Vader was their father, and then also their mother died after giving birth to them, so she was out of the picture. I don't know who exactly raised Leia, but it wasn't her birth mother. And so the way that she's behaving in answer to that question is as if she assumes that the woman that raised her was her mother.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay. How'd you feel about the scene?
I think it was a nice way to wrap up and answer a lot of just the story arc of the Skywalker family. But the one thing, and I already commented on it, when she said that she knew that was her brother all along, that part, had they left it out, it wouldn't have been as bad when she had kissed him before. But the fact that she said that, it made it very strange.
Yeah. I don't have any problem with the scene itself as far as like how it's played out. But I have to say, this Han and Leia scene was some of the worst acting. It feels like soap opera acting. Like it is just. I can't tell you the first time I saw this movie, but I have the same reaction every time I see it. It's just like real cringe.
Is it because of how the characters are written, or is it because of their acting skills?
Probably because I feel like, put it this way, as they're acting, I feel like I'm reading it out of a book. Like, you know how when you're reading like pages and like you can visualize it, that's what I feel like I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes, you know, like the genius of George Lucas is like beyond your imagination. This is within my imagination, and it is very poor. Not to say that my imagination is
That's
poor,
what it sounds like.
but like it just seems like, you know, when you're reading a book and you have those, for some people, for me, I'm a very like as I'm reading a page, I try to visualize what I'm reading in that moment, and I feel like if I was reading Return of the Jedi, this would have been how it was projected in my mind.
Yeah,
like it's just not very free flowing. It seems forced, like force acting almost.
I can believe that with some of the delivery.
Yeah.
Like with the or whatever. What did he say?
Yeah.
How when he was dismissive essentially. It didn't. It was kind of cartoonish almost. It didn't feel fluid. Like a real person wouldn't talk in that situation like that. But then I also think the reason I asked about was it their character or how it was played out was because Han Solo doesn't exactly strike me as the most emotionally adept person. So that's why I posed that question.
Yeah, could be both.
But yeah, it definitely did have certain like a certain amount of cringiness to it. I'll give you that.
No, I think if I had a problem with the acting, it was Leia. Like, I don't want to talk right now. But yeah, I mean, after seeing Attack of the Clones and the dialogue and the acting in that one from Hayden Christensen, I understand what you mean. There's definitely still moments where George Lucas can put some weird dialogue or some dialogue that people wouldn't necessarily say in a real life situation. So I understand that, but it wasn't like horrible or anything. So.
It was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, but not horrible. That's what it was. They're bad.
It's like pretty fucking bad here. The horrible is here.
Basically, yeah.